Hello? Can y'all see me now? Oh my goodness. I have been talking for about 20 minutes and I'm not live. I told you all I had a little trouble at the beginning and it wasn't connecting, but y'all didn't hear me say that, okay? Hello everyone. I'm Sara Sach and I'm finally live. I mean, it is 11 minutes past time we should start. I don't know what happened today. I don't know. Can you see me? Tell me if you can see me. Say, I see you. Hi, Sara. Okay, so I've been talking for 10 minutes and I wasn't live. I didn't even know it. I was just talking away, answering questions. You didn't hear me. And my husband pops in. He goes, you're not live. All right, so let's start all over. Okay? All righty. So we're going to begin with our clinkety clink, clink, clink. This is crazy. I don't know what happened. All right. So if you missed it at the beginning, don't worry about it. I'm going to start all over. All right. So the first thing I talked about was the birthdays. So I want to tell everybody that has January birthdays, happy birthday. Okay. So I don't know what happened. I've had great connection since I started going live on YouTube, and today it just didn't connect. All right. Okay. All right, so everybody clink in. I'm drinking my Folgers. I added Irish cream because it's National Irish Coffee Day. All right, I need another cup here. All right, so what I talked about at the beginning of the video that didn't record, of course, was how to contact me. So what's going on is on my Instagram channel, I've been getting a ton of inappropriate and crazy spam. And so I had to turn off all messaging and pictures off of my Instagram. So if you want to contact me, you need to go to www.poshpoochdesigns.com. That is my webpage. You can find that link down in the notes underneath this video. And you just go to that webpage, hit that link, and then it has a contact tab. And then my dog's crying in the other room. I can't go and get him right now. But anyway, he's stuck on the bed. He can't jump down. Anyway, what a morning. Okay, so anyway, you can just click that contact tab and shoot me an email. If you want to send me a picture, you can do it that way as well. Because for some reason on Facebook, when I go to my Posh Pooch Designs page, it's not telling me when I have a message. And so I'll go in and check every now and then, and I'll find probably 20 or 30 messages. But it's not telling me when I have messages anymore. And when I go to Instagram, I was getting crazy spam in my messages. So thank you, Kimberly. It is better late than never. Oh my goodness. I do want to say happy birthday to my grandson. He is 14. Can you believe I have a 14-year-old grandson? I always tell him he's my favorite grandson because he's my only one. I do have 2 granddaughters as well. So anywho, Max is fine. He'll hop down. I put pillows next to the bed so he can get down, but he just wants me to come and get him. Anyway, what we're going to discuss today is what I need, not how I need. What do I need to begin crocheting? And so, hang on. Let me go and get my baby. I'm back. What a morning. He has trouble getting off the bed, and he's such a big baby, I'm going to tell you. Okay, we'll put him over there on his poop. All right, back to the subject at hand. what do I need to begin crocheting? We go to the store and there's this wall of crochet hooks and tons of yarn and items we think we need. And we think we need to spend all this money. So they both just left. I'm so glad I did that. Anyway, so what do we need? So I made a list of what I think you need just to get started crocheting. All right. The first thing we're going to talk about is crochet hooks. That's an ink pen. All right, so I have all these crochet hooks. There's tons of kinds. There's different ways of holding them. What do I buy? There's plastic, there's bamboo, there's smaller plastic, there's rubber handles, there's, you know, all these crochet. What do I buy? I want to learn to crochet, but I don't know what to get, right? Okay, so this is my recommendation. Let me grab one of these crochet hooks. Go to your local Joann's or Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and go and just purchase a couple of your basic crochet hooks. I suggest getting maybe a G, an H, and an I. The reason that I say that is those are probably the ones you're going to use the most when you're beginning. And a G and an H and an I is a 4.5, a 5, and a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Now, some crochet hooks you're going to find that the millimeters might be a little bit different. But this is a great place to start. I wanted to grab this pink hook. There's two types of hooks. This one, you can see, let me put it on my chin here. You can see it has the Susan Bates style. Those hooks have that point and they're a little bit sharper. And then there's this hook, it's the Bates style. It's a little bit rounder. One thing you need to know is that a hook is measured by the shaft here, not by the hook, and not down here. It's measured by right here in this section. It's called the shaft. That's where the measurement comes from, not the hook. And just pick up a few. Yes, Maximo and Rosie left the room. That's because my husband's probably having a snack downstairs and they want to be a part of that. Anyway, they're so funny. Anyway, pick yourself up a couple of crochet hooks just to see how you like it. And the other thing I want to tell you is there is no proper way to hold a crochet hook. You've probably seen videos that say the proper way is to hold it like this, or like this, or like this, or like this, or however, and you're so confused, right? Just pick your crochet hook, hold it the way that is comfortable for you, and crochet. Everybody's different. There is no proper way to hold that crochet hook, okay? So you need to get a couple of crochet hooks. All right, let me move this out of the way. Now, the second thing you need, of course, is yarn. And what I suggest that you do, don't get any fancy yarns with bumps and feathers and all kinds of frilly things on it, okay? Go and just pick yourself up some basic, medium, number 4, or light number 3 in a solid color. And the reason I say a solid color, maybe a blue or a beige, a pink or a teal or something, because when you get into using a lot of variegateds where the colors change a lot, or it has, you know, fun fur or bumps or boucle or all that stuff, it's hard to see your stitches. And when you're first learning, you want to see those stitches, okay? And then the next thing I want you to pick up and have on hand all the time is a tape measure. Tape measure is extremely important because you can hold your hook exactly the way you think is right and stitch those stitches exactly the way you think is right and use the yarn the pattern calls for, and you might be too big or too small. And so you're going to have to learn how to adjust your tension, okay? And it's just, you just have to learn that. That's something you'll learn as you go, and learning as you make your stitches even and stitch your stitches, okay? And the tape measure is very important for that because you want to measure to make sure it's what the pattern says. Also, if you want to make it bigger or smaller, you use your tape measure and measure those stitches. To me, this is the third most important thing. Next to your crochet hook and your yarn, you need your tape measure. A lot of people don't talk about that, but when I was first learning to crochet, I wasn't taught to count stitches. I was taught to measure and add and subtract as you went. It was a whole different way of thinking. I mean, you know, y'all probably weren't even born yet when I was learning to crochet. All right, the other thing that you need is a few yarn needles. Needles are very important. There's lots of different kinds. There's some that have a little curl on the end. You need to be able to get your yarn in those eyes. And the purpose of making sure you have a needle is weaving in those ends. And when you weave in your ends, you need to go through fibers of the yarn, not the holes, and through stitches, not the holes, if you want it to work. And you need to go one way and turn back and come back the other and back and forth. I call that the three-way because you're going to go one way, you're going to turn, you're going to come back the other way, then you're going to go that third way. Okay, and that's how you're going to weave your ends in. There's lots of videos on how to do that out there. All right, another thing is to make sure you've got some scissors with you. This is just a small pair of Westcott scissors. I don't even know where I got them. I've had them forever. Don't feel like you need to go out and pick up an expensive pair of Fiskars. We're talking yarn, not fabric, okay? And so what I suggest, just go to the school department and pick you up a couple pairs of safety scissors. They don't have to have points. They just have to be able to cut yarn. And a lot of times, when we've flown and gone places, I've taken a toenail clipper and clipped the yarn if I needed to. Just something to cut the yarn so you're not having to bite it with your teeth or trying to break it. Okay? That's important. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you real quick about is crochet patterns. And one thing that people mistake all the time is that a beginner pattern and an easy pattern are not the same. A beginner pattern is basic. But when you go to the beginner pattern, you get more into a little bit more easy pattern. You get into more techniques. And I get people tell me all the time, you said this is easy. It is not a beginner pattern. And I say, you're right. It's not. A beginner pattern is where you start. The beginner pattern is where you start. The easy pattern is the next step up. And then you go farther all the way up to expert. But something you also need to remember is just because someone thinks they're an expert, I don't think they ever are. And what that means is crochet is constantly changing. It's a constantly changing art. It's always moving. It's always changing. Things are always added to and taken away, new yarns, new techniques, and so it's always constantly changing. And there's nothing wrong with someone who's been crocheting for, 40, 50 years to do beginner patterns at all. But what happens sometimes is if you're a beginner, you try to take on something that's a little harder and you get frustrated. So go slow. Enjoy the ride, and have fun. I think sometimes we're in this thing where we think we need to crochet faster, but we don't. We need to understand that it's not just about the end results. It's about the process of getting to the end results, learning new techniques, learning new stitches. And just because one designer does it one way and another designer does it another way, it doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different. And there's different techniques and different things that you can do. A good example of that is the magic circle. Tons of people love it. I'm not a fan of it. I use it occasionally, but not that often. I would prefer to do a chain, depending on what I'm making, 3, 4, or 5, and make a circle, and then go from there. And then you have a tail to close up that circle. It's not that it's wrong. It's just different. And there's nothing wrong with using the magic circle. Again, it's just a different technique. And it's good to learn as many techniques as you can. Okay? All right. So the last thing I wanted to leave you with in all of that is take your time and enjoy the process. I think, like I said, so many times we try to just rush through. And I understand, you got a baby shower that you got to have a blanket ready for in 3 days. That's different than just enjoying and learning, okay? Get that blanket done so you can give it to them. But, also take time to learn as you go, okay? So, that's what that's about. And when people ask you which crochet hook to use or or what do you use, you can tell them what you use and, you know, recommend. Because, you know, another thing is I have arthritis and I cannot use those great big bumpy hooks. It hurts my hand and my wrist so much. I really prefer the small handled ones, you know, that are more, this one's even bigger than what I like. But, you know, let me grab that one over here. This is the one that I use the most. It got stuck in there. This is the brand that I use the most. This is the Hobby Lobby Yarn Bee brand. You can see it just has a small plastic handle. And that's all I need because I have short, fat fingers, you know. And so that's the ones that I use the most when you watch my videos. I have a set like this. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, I think $9.99, and you get 8 or 12, I don't remember. And the thing is about this set, it has that 7mm. A lot of crochet hooks don't have that 7mm, and I really like it. I use it a lot, actually. I don't use it a lot in my written patterns because a lot of people have trouble finding it. Okay, so if you want what I use, this is what I use, this brand. I think it's Yarn Bee, but it is at Hobby Lobby. Okay. Now, let's talk about this new yarn that I found. I'm going to come over to this other camera. This is this yarn. It's not brand new. It's been out a while. I get people all the time. They'll say, that's not new. That's been out for 2 years. Well, that's great. I just discovered it. So this is the Yarnspirations Bernat Handy Crafter Scrub Off. And I found this. This is similar to some of the yarns that we used. It's got cotton and the bumpy yarns. And I'm looking forward to making some washcloths out of this. And one of the things that really impressed me, as you can see right here, this skein of yarn has 8.8 ounces, which is 353 yards. So you're going to get a lot of scrubbies out of this. And I love this yarn that has the cotton and also the scrubby in it. Isn't that cool? This color is called Celery Sky. And I think it's because it's got greens and blues. Really pretty. And then this one I really liked, and it's just called Copper Pot. And it's got some copper colors and some blue. And but I mean, I really like using the scrubby yarns. But hang on 2 seconds. Let me get some coffee here. There we go. See, I talked for 10 minutes before I started the video, so now my throat's tired, or before we connected. Okay, so that's right. Penny just said, okay, to do what works for you. That's exactly right. Exactly right. You got to do what works best for you. Okay, back to the yarn. I really like this particular yarn. It's 100% cotton. Then that's both the scrubby yarn and the regular cotton yarn. I don't know the lengths from going from cotton to the scrubby. I'll play with it a little bit and see how that goes. But I really love the scrub it when it goes like that. It does both things. You can just have so much fun with it and make some really neat washcloths. And I love my cotton washcloths. I love my scrubbies because one thing about the scrubby yarn that has the cotton is once you've washed it, all that sizing comes off of it. And it almost puffs up a little bit and makes a much more absorbent washcloth and scrubby. I have scrubby yarn that is, I think, acrylic with this bumpiness in it. And it works great. It scrubs really good. But they get really kind of heavy and stringy. And I had some when we sold our RV, but I had some that I would leave in the RV. And I would just wash them and then hang them up. And it seemed like they would never dry. And you do have to be careful with cotton because it will absorb along with water as, you know, smell and yuck. So you need to make sure you wash those in hot water and get that out of there. Okay, my chair's rolling away. So anyway, I just think this yarn is just amazing because it has 8.5 or 8.8 ounces. That's a lot of scrubbies. Okay, now that is Bernat. I found this on the Yarnspirations website. Okay. So I've never seen it in the stores. One place you might check is Joann's because when I have found yarn, I won't find it at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I'll go to Joann's and they have a huge selection of yarn. So when you have one you can't seem to find, I would check Joann's first. But of course, you can always look online. All right, let's talk a little bit about what happened this week at Posh Pooch Designs. The first thing I want to show you, let me see if I can find my other camera here, is our beanie hat. This is a beaded beanie. It's a beaded slouchy. You can make it into a beanie by not making it quite so slouchy on the back. I love this pattern. The original one was done in black, and I loved that hat. I think I washed it till it wore out. So I made that hat, I don't know, 7 years ago. But I had never done a video. And so we did the crochet pattern with lots of new pictures and a video. And again, when I show you what we did this week, all of my patterns that are on YouTube have a written pattern, they have a photo tutorial, and they have that video tutorial. Now, a lot of them that are super duper old, they may not have a complete photo tutorial, and so that's something we are working on, trying to get more pictures on the blog. But she's talking about Red Heart. One thing you have to remember about Red Heart is Yarnspirations bought Red Heart. And the old scratchy yarn that you have that was Red Heart isn't, and then you buy Red Heart nowadays, it's not the same. Yarnspirations have, and a lot of that has to do not with what it's made out of, but how it's processed. It's put through the machines more and softened up. And so, and a lot of it also has to do with the dyeing process. When acrylic yarns are dyed, they're not like cotton yarns are made, and same thing with wool and then dyed. Well, acrylic yarns, the dye is part of the process of making the yarn. And that's why you a lot of times you won't know it, but your dye lot will change, even though they'll say there's not a dye lot. So if you've bought Red Heart recently, it's a lot softer than Red Heart from years ago. I miss the old Red Heart sometimes because I had a good relationship with the company, but now that Yarnspirations has it, they've kind of let go a lot of the crochet designers and bloggers and YouTubers. So, but that's okay. I still love Red Heart. But although my favorite, if you want to know my favorite, basic acrylic yarn is the Michaels Craft Smart. It's so much softer than it used to be as well. They've come up with lots of new shades, ombres and colors, and it's just, to me, I really love Michaels Craft Smart now. Where it used to be scratchy, it's not anymore. They've really done a super duper great job. Okay. The other thing we did this week was yesterday, I did this sweet little heart-shaped basket. I filled it with candy. These are my least favorite candies. They're like chalk hearts. You can probably write on them with a chalkboard. But anyway, we made this cute little heart basket that you can fill with candy. And I did say on the video you could put a candle in it, but what you need to remember is if you're going to put a candle in there, it needs to have a glass surrounding it and the bottom, because these are acrylic. But you can make these out of cotton as well. They make great little decorations. And I always say, I like to do hearts around Valentine's Day, but hearts are not just for Valentine's Day. Anniversary parties, engagement parties, weddings, and just for fun. Okay? And then the other thing we did was last Friday, I'm going to grab these all across the table. We've had kind of an interesting video today, haven't we? We did these Valentine hearts. It says, I'm hooked on you. And inside, if I can untie the bow, is the lace heart. And you can put a little note in there. It's just fun. Here's one that I did in a cranberry. Now, you can click the link underneath the video and go to the blog, and you can copy, paste, and print off the card, printed on cardstock. I explain all that to you in the video, and then you can stitch up that if you want to. And those hearts are also great for like making buntings and decorations and other things. So, what are we going to do this Friday for Friday Fun Day? We're going to do roses. I'm going to show you how to make a rose bud and then also a big bloom rose. It's going to be super fun. And I love roses because they're great, because you can do bright colors and bring some sunshine into your home that look like they're not exactly like real roses, but they look like real roses. And also they're great for like Mother's Day and She says Craft Smart yarn from Hobby Lobby isn't soft. Craft Smart is from Michaels, not Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby's brand is I Love This Yarn for their basic cotton. Isn't it Craft Smart from Michaels? Let me grab this skein right here. Yes, Craft Smart is from Michaels. This is their blue ombre. Hobby Lobby's isn't Craft Smart, and they do have a basic acrylic, but they don't. They're actually phasing out that other brand. I can't remember what it's called, so you're not going to be able to get that anymore anyway at Hobby Lobby. Okay, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Let's see. Oh, I do want to remind you of one thing, and then I'm going to let you go because we're running a little late here. My birthday's coming. My birthday is February 12th, and so we're going to be doing some fun birthday things. I'm going, of course, the first Tuesday in February, we'll announce what our giveaway is for the month of February. And then I'm going to do a cupcake hat that I did a few years ago. We're going to update the pattern, and I'm going to redo that. And then I've got some balloons that I did a few years ago that are my daughter's pattern, and I'm going to do her balloons again. They're super fun to make. They're for decorating and making cards. Okay, and so we're going to have a little bit of birthday fun that week. And then I'm trying to think, I had something else on here. Let's see. In the month of March, we're going to be doing a big bag crochet along. And I don't know if I planned it for the second or first week. I didn't plan it for the third. Anyway, so we're going to have a big bag crochet along in March. So there's some things that are coming up and everything. Your birthday is the 12th as well, huh? That's interesting. I have a friend that is a young lady in our church that we call ourselves birthday twins because her birthday is the 12th as well, though she's going to be, I think, 15. And I'm going to be 59. So, anywho, I'm going to let you go. It's been a fun and exciting day today. And you know what? If you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at anything, right? Well, I just want you all to know I thank you for watching our video today, as crazy and fun as it was. And I hope you learned a few things. And remember, I can't do all this craziness without all of you watching. Alrighty. I will see you next week and have a great week. Bye-bye now.